everyone, today I have the great pleasure of meeting up with one of my subscribers, and he's got a van. So Troy is gonna take us around to look at this stunning van. Absolutely stunning. So this is Troy, one of my wonderful subscribers, and this is his van. And it is a 2013 Chevy 3500, and it is a V8.
Yes, 6 liter.
And what's your gas mileage normally with this type of vehicle?
I've been getting 17 miles per gallon pretty consistently with it.
Nice. And how many trips have you taken on this? Because this is new to you, correct?
Yes, it is. I've been up in the northern part of Michigan for 3 different trips so far. There's not much on the front here to see. It is pretty standard.
I like, now these 2 windows up here in the front, do you actually get sunlight from inside? I know we'll see that more.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. I don't really see the purpose of those. They're just like skylights. They don't open at all. They let a lot of sun in, which is hot.
If you want to compare vans, I am going to do another video with versus my van versus his, and both are amazing. So I want you guys to check out, I mean, just look at how stylish this van looks. You've got your windows, you got every amenity in this rig, and I am looking forward to showing you his rig. And he's gonna walk through and show us everything on the outside and everything on the inside. So stay tuned. So this is the inside part, and these seats look really comfortable, and they are the swivel seats. And then you've got your normal dash stuff. There's a curtain that is right here that will travel all the way around. And I'm assuming it's probably not a blackout.
No, it's just this normal material like the rest of them.
It's just normal material.
Yep.
Both seats swivel.
Yep.
Want to show us the rest of that,
Okay,
Troy?
I'll step up in here. I guess we can start right up in this area. This is the control center. You've got the levels for the battery, freshwater, black tank, and gray. Water pump on and off. Generator, start and stop. This is the water heater, automatic ignition. You just flip it to on, and then it takes right off. Some light switches. Same thing down here. There's a power outlet here. I just keep my meter on here so I can see how the generator's performing, monitor the hertz and the voltage coming out of it, everything. That would be the porch light. This is the main light inside. This hook here, I hang my trash bag on. There's really no compartment for trash, so I just take like a grocery plastic shopping bag and loop it there and fill it up and try to get rid of it every day. A little shelf up here.
Really quickly on that, because that hook looks amazing. Is that something you got off from Amazon? Is that something?
This came from the thrift store, actually. They had about 8 of these hooks in a package for 99 cents. So I said, well, it's worth trying. It's just a suction cup. It's not.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
So, and it holds very well. So
I love finding them thrift shop store
things like that. Up here is this is the smoke detector.
Okay.
That's all that is.
Safety, safety.
Yep, all the lights inside are LED. This is the 2-burner LP gas.
Okay.
So real basic cooking. The sink. Stainless sink. This is the Korean countertop. That's what that little, if people are wondering, it's not a gold coin laying there, but that's the Korean thing that they put on there. Up above, we have storage for the kitchen area. I keep my dishes up here. Typically use paper plates, but I do have some glass items, mugs, instant coffee. You can kind of see the freezer is in the top here, so that's not very big. but it works very well. This will run right at about 35 degrees. I can really maintain it even when it's 80, 85 degrees outside, and things stay very frozen in the freezer. Now in the back area here, the seat is in the upright position. So 2 people could ride back here. There are seat belts on here, so this is officially equipped for 4 people legally. Up above, got more storage. Keep basic items in there. I like to carry a toaster. I like toast in the morning. I do have a propane stove, just a real basic 1 burner. Cast iron pan, some spare supplies. The manuals for the rig are in the back there. So I do have more room in here. I can organize that differently. Up above is the Cool Cat heat pump. Coming around to this side, we've got more storage over here. This is where I would keep my clothes for a trip. I would put them in here. Got some jackets and a backpack.
Well, it is Michigan, so you never know when you need that jacket.
Exactly, yep.
Not this week, though.
Right, no.
We're in for a heat wave.
These windows do open. These are the windows in the back with the screen, so you get a little bit of air at night. Those in the back do open, but there's no screen on those. That's pretty typical on these Chevy vans.
Yep. I really like these windows, the back and these side windows like this when they veer out, because even in the rain, you can keep them open and the rain just falls down.
Okay.
So that I really do like. I do have the smaller ones, but mine does not have the screens on it. So I made screens, and I made screens for that.
Okay, yep, that's always an option. I could do that.
Yep.
Okay, this is the little restroom that's inside of here. Keep basic supplies up above here. Got more lights inside here.
Well, that's a really bright light for a small area.
So a regular full-size flush toilet. This is the shower pan underneath where it drains, goes out the floor. Nobody has ever taken a shower in here. This has never been used. It is a little bit tight to take a shower. You could in a pinch, but there is a plastic cover that goes over this curtain. You'd have to drop this down and put your plastic to keep that from getting wet, and that's still brand new in the bag. It's never been opened. So
wow.
This is what the back storage looks like.
So this is what most people would call the garage area.
Yes, exactly.
And super nice, organized.
Have my leveling blocks, a chair, table, fresh water supply, electrical cord, power management system, spare extension cord over there.
Awesome.
And that's about it. There's not a whole lot of room in there, so you can't take anything too big with you.
All right.
This is the crank for the awning. It's a manual awning. It doesn't buzz out electrically. This one you have to use this crank.
And you do have curtains on the back. Are they blackout curtains?
They are to some degree. I've made some shades to go up inside of here. When we go inside, I'll show you. But I do have those. Up above, we've got the backup camera and the heat pump, the Cool Cat air conditioner heater. So it does heat and cool both. On this side, we have a porch light, outside electrical. Down here's the deep cycle battery. It's not one of the fancy new batteries.
Lithium?
Lithium, yep, not lithium, just standard deep cycle marine battery. These are the things for the awning, the support. You could either run them down on an angle or straight down to the ground outside, which is the preferred method.
Well, thank you, Troy. I really appreciate this van tour, and this is an option. I have seen these go. I mean, this one is a super nice one, but if you are in the market for these, I've seen them go, obviously an older, well-used one for anywhere about $15,000, but I've seen them up into the, $100,000s. Troy, what was the sticker price? I know you sent that to me.
Yeah, this when it was new was $95,000 with the option, the generator. on it.
95,000.
Yes.
There we go. Well, thank you, Troy, so much for sharing your away from home with us.
Okay, well, good. It was fun, Susie.
It was. Thank you so much.
Mhm.